Now, joining us on the phone, Senator Max Baucus, a key ally on health care and health reform, joining us from Montana. Senator, the dream that would never die included passing health reform. What is the likelihood of having that happen? You've been involved in all the key negotiations.
Well, ironically, I think that the spirit and passion of Ted is going to be even stronger now in his passing. It's unfortunate, but I think that's the case. I've never known a more effective legislator. I think Ted Kennedy is the greatest and most effective legislator in modern American time. It's because he was so passionate and worked so hard, a gifted speaker. But then he would sit down and work out an agreement. He'd compromise. He'd realize, okay, there are two sides to this, and let's figure out how to get this thing passed. And the personal touch. We all know have personal stories of Ted. A very small one. In my case, I wasn't home at the house one night. My mother was there, and Ted and my mother got in this big, long, wonderful conversation. And pretty soon they became good pen pals. And Ted would write thank you notes to people. You know, in this internet age, nobody writes thank you notes anymore, but Ted did. And anybody who really he wanted to touch, it's amazing how many people he did touch. So add it all together, and we're smiling that Ted Kennedy is such a wonderful, wonderful person, and I think that the spirit of Ted Kennedy is going to help us get meaningful health care reform, health legislation passed.
Well, briefly, do you think in your negotiations you had a 90-minute call with your fellow 6 members of the Gang of 6? Are you going to be able to produce something by the September 15th deadline that the White House is expecting? Well,
we'll see. But really, you know, today is Ted Kennedy's day, and these days are. I just think it's best for all of us to just remember Ted, the wonderful person he is, and he certainly was and still is, and then how we pass health care reform and what precise date. We'll work that out next week or two. But right now, I think it's important for us just to remember Ted.
Of course, we will follow up with you. Senator Max Baucus, thank you so much for joining us today.